What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. LexxExpress checking in with my thoughts on becoming Cody Rhodes. This is a Peacock original WWE documentary. The American Nightmare has been killing it in WWE, and this is his story. This was before leaving WWE, what he did while he was gone, and returning home. And I don't know where to start. Honestly, this is a vehicle to launch him into the stratosphere. That's what I'm thinking, because if you're not a fan, after watching this, you will be. His story is not only relatable, it's believable because it's so raw and real. It's filled with emotion and passion, and it oozes through the screen. The cinematography for it was super good too. They had all sorts of footage from back in the day, and they used a modern day shot of Cody in the middle of the desert, kind of walking through the sand and seeing his life play out. He stomps on a few things, he picks up a couple objects here and there, and it translates into basically telling the story of his life. We saw his failures as an actor, his success as an amateur superstar in high school wrestling. We saw, the family struggles with his dad, losing out on money and trying to help his kids achieve their dreams. I love how he admitted that Dusty was a better father to him and his sister than he might have been to, Goldust and his. I think Goldust has another sibling too, another sister, I believe. I'm not too sure right now. I can't remember. I saw this a couple of weeks ago, but ultimately, the family affair here and the joy that he had working with his dad, with his brother, and trying to push his family legacy to the next level has always been something that he's been, aspiring to do. And it really hurt to see his pain for Stardust. I remember Stardust as a character and me being like on the fence, but he bought in, or at least he tried to, and he said it here. He hated it, but he wanted to make it work so bad to prove that he was a team player, for him to ultimately return to what he wanted to do, which was more of the dashing, undashing stuff. It felt like he was destined to become champion, right? One of the main champs at that, one of the headliners. He was in Legacy with Randy. They touched base on that. They really went all in here. It was, not to reference AEW, I know it, no pun intended, my goodness. But it's a 2-hour documentary here, and even if you split it by watching 1 hour the first time and the second hour the next day, that's totally fine. Watch it like an episode, but at the end of the day, give it a shot, even if you don't care too much about Cody Rhodes, because you may not understand his character or the hype behind him, but this connects the dots in a way where it will turn you into a fan, I promise you. So they didn't really care. They allowed Cody and everyone in this documentary to mention the indies and what he accomplished there. He mentioned some by name and all. So the fact that they allowed for him to really dive deep into conquering all the other territories he touched outside of the business, was what made this a very, very interesting documentary for me, because I said, all right, this is just going to be a big commercial for the American Nightmare. It's going to be solid, but it's not going to be all that great, because we know that WWE likes to put their hands all over things, and they censor or take out and hide and sugarcoat. But there was no sugarcoating here. When the tough got rough, they really showcased that. Cody cried and all. They revealed how he felt after losing his father, and just all that, man, that passion. I'm telling you guys, it was inspiring, and it was just beautiful. It's the best way I could put it. So great cinematography, good footage from back then, from outside of the WWE, and then returning. It really, kind of streamlines everything that we needed to know to be like, all right, now I get why this guy needs to finish his story. It's not just a gimmick, it's real. It's a family thing here. It's something that just needs to get done. If Cody doesn't ever become champion in WWE, it'll be the most, the biggest tragedy in wrestling. So I think that when he re-signed with them, not only was his documentary part of it, because they had really good footage from even when he walked in through the door again, but I think becoming champion had to have been part of his deal. Like, they wanted to protect this new image, this character of the American Nightmare, and this really sets everything up for him. So if you were kind of lost in the sauce, this is 100% going to get you on board. And even if you don't become a fan of Cody after this, even if you don't really care too much about the documentary, you will at least respect this man's grind. Never giving up, never say never. That John Cena attitude is something that this guy really lives by. Just because he failed at wrestling, just because he didn't want to pursue wrestling, I mean, like, he failed in WWE his first go around. He failed in Hollywood, and he didn't continue, the amateur wrestling stuff at a collegiate level. Between the highs of highs and lows of lows, he has ultimately, consistently persevered and pushed further and harder than he possibly could have imagined. And that's what they really did a phenomenal job showcasing here. So I'm done riding the wave. I'm done gassing it up. I just wanted to come on here and put some positive words into this review, because I want to encourage every single one of you to check it out if you haven't. It's that good, man. If I had to give it a 1 through 10, I'd probably say 10. I'm not comparing it to any other wrestling stuff, Dark Side of the Ring, or there's a ton of great wrestling documentaries as the years have gone on. They've gotten not only better, but they've had more meaning, and they've looked deeper into what the business has had to offer in the past. But WWE tends again to hold back, and I feel like here they pulled back the curtain and said, here, do what you got to do, tell your story. And at the end of the day, I think this is something to be proud about. So I will see y'all real soon with another review. We'll continue to do the watch parties and play wrestling games on the channel. So if you like all that goodness, subscribe. What are you waiting for? Drop a like if you haven't already. Hit me up in the comments section. How did you feel about becoming Cody Rhodes? Everything was awesome. Wow.